J.D. Vance, just because I mentioned the Epstein files, it's J.D. Vance talking to Maria Bartiromo, and he is saying, she asked, "Well, did you have a meeting?" So, well, we didn't know. We didn't have a meeting at my home. That's totally fake news. And she said, "Well, you had it at the White House." She said, "Yes, we had it at the White House." So, I mean, they're clearly very much concerned about this Epstein thing. It's a really bad look for the president, and the more information comes out around it, the more stink there is for him to avoid. Here's a little bit of Vance talking about that with Maria Bartiromo. Go ahead, Tony.
Job for the American people, winning the midterm elections in 2026, then we can talk about politics after that.
Can you give us some clarity on this meeting that is reportedly happening or happened last night at the White House about the Epstein files and how you're communicating the Epstein story?
So I've seen so many different fake reports about this, so let me set the record straight. There was no meeting at my house last night. There just wasn't.
Was there a meeting at the White House?
We did meet at the White House yesterday, but not at the time that they said that we were going to meet, and not about the subject that they said that we were going to meet about. We have a great FBI director and a great Department of Justice lead, Attorney General Pam Bondi, and we met to talk about how to ensure we have justice for the American people. We actually didn't talk about the Epstein issue at all. That was never meant to be the subject of the meeting. And it's one of those things where I guess somebody leaked a calendar entry maybe, and then people assumed that it must have been about Epstein, even though it had nothing to do with Epstein. On the Epstein issue, what the president has said very clearly, because we've had other meetings about that, is that he wants us to be fully transparent and he wants the credible information out there. So we're working to compile the thousands and thousands of documents that are out there for full transparency. But I have to say, Maria, I laugh at the Democrats who are now all of a sudden so interested in the Epstein files. For 4 years, Joe Biden and the Democrats did absolutely nothing about this story. We know that Jeffrey Epstein had a lot of connections with left-wing politicians and left-wing billionaires, and now President Trump has demanded full transparency from this, and yet somehow the Democrats are attacking him and not the Biden administration, which did nothing for 4 years.
Yeah, it's just funny that it really didn't start, though, with the Biden administration for 4 years, because the whole thing with Epstein happened under whose presidency? Donald Trump. Yeah. So Jeffrey Epstein was charged and imprisoned under Donald Trump's presidency. He was suicided, in my view. He was offed during the Donald Trump presidency. So it's funny, all of a sudden, it's all about Biden and how he doesn't want it to come out, when Trump certainly could have released those files. It is just a credit to the MAGA world knowing that America and Americans in the media sphere generally have a short memory, that he can kind of move on from this, because those are the stark realities. Now, as I said before, I suspect that there is incredibly damning, damaging, maybe even revelatory stuff in those files that they want to see around Epstein. And a lot of that stuff is about Democrats, high-profile Democrats. I mean, you know, they exaggerate everything. So Clinton now went to that private island that Epstein had 26 times. He didn't go 26 times. The number 26 is the number of times they think that he was on the plane. By the way, it's damning as hell for Bill Clinton. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just trying to say, like, he's already incredibly guilty looking, Bill Clinton. Yeah. You don't need to put him on the island 26 times, but that becomes a talking point.
But who cares? Bill Clinton's not the president.
Yeah, but it matters, because when you talk about the cover up under Biden, under a Democratic administration,
okay,
that's why. And so I'm speaking to why there are cover ups on both sides, because just as Clinton has the stink of Epstein on him, I think, and well beyond Clinton, so does Trump. All the stink that Clinton had, I'd say there's a multiplier on the stink on Trump when it comes to Epstein. He, after all, engineered entire nights with models. These are all models in New York. They're ages 15 to about 20. Those were the models that were on magazine covers, the models that are doing runway. Mm-hmm. They're in that demographic of really young girls. Some of them are slightly older, obviously. But my point is, the two guys together were kind of Batman and Robin running this really, it was they're just trying to nail as many models as they could. That's really what it was. And it seems as though Epstein had this perversion, and Trump may not have had it as bad, but I'm guessing that there's some stuff in there that Trump doesn't want out that might reflect on at least a cloudy picture when it came to the sort of dalliances that Trump had. So this is a real problem for him. And so all of these things, these announcements on his way to the Nobel Peace Prize, which is clearly something he wants, all of these announcements help distract from it.
What I'm saying is not who cares, like crimes were committed, who cares, but release all the names. Like, I don't care if there were Democrats or Republicans, but the most pertinent name is going to be Trump's name because he's the one sitting in the Oval Office. So they can try to use the Democrats' names as a distraction and the whataboutism. Well, what about Bill Clinton? Well, what about so-and-so? These are the people whose names are really in the files. Fine, release the whole thing.
Sure.
Let's see it all. Let's see
Yeah,
it
you're
all.
right. I mean, it's really weak given the fact that, okay, fine, exactly. You're the president now. You guys run it. Release it. So Billy DeBono says with a $5 super chat, new drinking game. Every time JD Vance says the meeting had nothing to do with Epstein, everybody takes a drink. I like that. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just so funny. It's almost like an SNL sketch or something. It didn't have anything to do with Epstein. We didn't talk about Epstein. Who's Epstein? Oh my God. Oh yeah, right. Epstein. Yeah, no, we had nothing. We didn't talk about it. Anyway, so to the extent that some of this stuff is a distraction, it serves that purpose as well. But I want to talk, who was a left-wing billionaire back then? Trump, exactly. That's not wrong. Ginger Beard is right when Ginger points out that, back in those days when he was hanging with Epstein, he was the Democratic or generally, I'd say center-left kind of guy, billionaire. So shouldn't Vance be on vacation somewhere? Yeah, he does take a lot of vacation.
He does.
Vance. Hi, it's Mark, and I thought that was great. Hit the notification bell. You'll know whenever there's a new video being dropped, and please subscribe to our channel to help us save the universe.